Hey, good morning. Today is Friday, September 5th, 2018. My name is Jeremy and welcome to First Cup. It's my first cup of coffee today. In my Styracosaurus mug from when I was a small child. God, how old is this mug? I think I was 8. Don't know why I think that. Something tells me 8. Either my mother bought this for me at the Boston Museum of Science, or it was like a holiday gift that year, Hanukkah gift, Hanukkah/Christmas. Because while I was raised Jewish, we celebrated whichever one came second, because the first one was like the warning sign to my mother, like, oh, shoot, Hanukkah was early this year. You're getting Christmas gifts. I feel rested, but this little thing on my wrist says I did not sleep well, which is unfortunate. Because it says I slept so poorly that I should not work out today. So I might go to Kempo tonight, but I will not be going to the gym to lift. That's okay. That's all right. That's why I have this technology to tell me what to do. Oh, excuse me. That was a good morning burp. Coffee. So this weekend, I've got the final planned whistlekick booth set up. I'll be traveling a little bit south to Chester, Vermont, to Green Mountain Union High School for my friend Master Alexander's tournament, the Vermont Classic. And, it's 2018. I first started setting up a booth in 2013. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I need another hand. 18. This is the 6th year of setting up a booth. In 2015 and 16, between the two, I did 50 events and was set up at almost all of them. Some of the events were seminars or whatever that I was at and was like had a presence, but yeah, that was every other weekend. This year, I think this will make like 4 or 5. I'm done. Why am I done? I'm done because setting up at events does not make us money. It never has. Even at an event where, when I factor the cost of the stuff that we're selling and things like that, cost of gas, even those events that are profitable, they're profitable because I'm not considering my time. And it's okay to do that early. It's okay to do things for certain reasons and not for all reasons. And sometimes those reasons change. It was a great thing for us to do for marketing purposes. But now that the majority of our sales are online, and when I say majority, I mean like 98, 99% are online, and those sales continue to grow, I want that time back. My life is busy. And so having those weekends free to do either personal things or other event things, like last weekend, I was at an event and I helped referee and I helped coach the team and I got to interact with friends instead of being confined to an 8x8 space, usually larger, in a corner, selling gear and shirts. So tomorrow will be fun because I have decided I will sell everything. And that may mean that things get very inexpensive by the end of the event. Because I already pulled out everything that I wanted that was my size. Going through, it's like shopping. It's a weird experience to have a wardrobe that you own, that you want things out of, but you look at it and tell yourself, hey, I don't really have the money for that. It's very strange. It's like owning a store, which I've also done. But why am I even bringing this up other than it's maybe a mildly interesting bit about whistlekick? I'm bringing it up. Oh, can you hear the heat? Turn the heat on. It's October. I'm allowed. I'm bringing up this event because it's important to know when to let something go. we have this tendency in the world, there goes a cat, to clutch onto things, to I think quite often we are taught that you have to give your all on something, and we equate that to meaning never giving up. Sometimes throwing good money after bad, there's a cliche, or spending your time and energy trying to make something work that isn't working is wasteful. Now, whistlekick is working, but it's time for me to let go of these events. You ever been into a martial arts school, trained in a martial arts school for years, that stopped working for you? Or maybe the instructor stopped working for the students? Sometimes you got to walk away. Sometimes you have to walk away from a friendship or a relationship or a house or an apartment or a job. There are all kinds of things. Now, a friend of mine, Renshi Lisa, and some of you may know her. She's from Maine. She runs the karate school I started at way, way back. Renshi Lisa turned me onto this book by Seth Godin, and I don't remember the name of the book, but it's a very small book. And the gist of this book is that when you start something, before you actually start it, that's when you decide what failure looks like. Maybe you can't define what success is, but you can define failure. And to establish a baseline that if you don't meet whatever this goal is in whatever period of time, that you walk. So to apply that concept, if I had gone back, if I'd known that when I started doing events for whistlekick, if the important part, because this is easier to illustrate, if the important part was to sell stuff at the events, if that was the core importance, I would say, if I'm not averaging $1,000 per event by the time I've done a dozen events, I'm going to stop doing events. Pretty cut and dry. But what tends to happen is we don't do that. We're so focused on the positive, on the optimistic piece, that we're willing to let things just get progressively worse, or often even worse than that, because it's harder to see, a very, very shallow progression. Let's say my goal was to earn a black belt. A goal I don't like using, but we're going to use it anyway. Then my goal was to earn a black belt. And 6 years later, I've earned a yellow belt. Maybe I've earned that yellow belt because I barely ever go to class. And maybe when I'm there, I don't pay attention. And maybe it's not important to me. I should probably cut ties, shouldn't I? Because if it takes 6 years to earn a yellow belt, it's going to take you longer than the rest of your life to get to that black belt with that attitude. Letting things go isn't necessarily bad. Letting things go leaves space for other things. You have a finite amount of time, amount of money, amount of energy in your brain that you can dedicate to stuff. And if you're investing in stuff that isn't working, you're not creating space, or you're blocking out space for other things that could work. And it's worth creating that space. So don't be afraid to look around. And this is my challenge to you today. What in your life is not serving you that you've just held on to for the sake of holding on to it? That could be people. It could be an activity. It could be physical possessions. It could be an attitude. Letting go of things is really hard. And the longer things have been around, the harder it is. And when it's people, even harder. But you can't get better if nothing else changes. You can't have growth or progress without change. So don't be afraid to make some changes and create the opportunity for growth. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you back here on Monday for First Cup. Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube, Tuesday on Facebook, Thursday on Instagram. and maybe soon as an audio only podcast. We got some feedback for that. If that's something that you'd like to see, comment here below. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications for Whistlekick. And don't forget, we also have a podcast Mondays and Thursdays. Lots of content coming out of our world. And if you want to see what we make, whistlekick.com. Take care. Peace.